This year's Champions League final is a hotly anticipated contest. Real Madrid are in pursuit of their third title in a row and their 13th overall, a hat-trick feat not managed so far in the Champions League era and only 3 times previously. One of these, of course, by Real themselves, who won the first 5 European Cups, a hegemony unchallenged since in European football history. In their way stand Liverpool, 4th in the Premier League, and who have not reached this stage of the competition since 2006-07, where they lost their Istanbul rematch to AC Milan. Of course, the miracle of Istanbul in 2004-05 saw goals from Steven Gerrard, Vladimir Šmiča and Xavi Alonso claw them back from a 3-0 half-time deficit against AC Milan to set up an enthralling win on penalties, with Jerzy Dudek distracting Jorginho and saving from Andrea Pirlo and Andrei Shevchenko to seal a win that wasn't so much memorable as totally improbable, after the first half at any rate. Jurgen Klopp has stated that Liverpool need to be brave to counter Real's experience on European football's biggest stage, perhaps channeling some of Liverpool's resolute refusal to roll over that night in 2005 would help too. Liverpool will line up in their customary 4-3-3, while Real Madrid may deploy a diamond shape 4-3-1-2 or a 4-4-2, with Zinedine Zidane switching between the two at various points in the tournament. It is perhaps that stage of proceedings when it's unlikely that either side will be able to spring tactical surprises, especially so with these two teams. Liverpool have a well-established methodology. Press high, compress the midfield and attacking spaces, create overloads out wide, and let the front three of Mohamed Salah, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane do their thing. Their combination of guile, technical ability and pace will be enough to give Zidane and the Real backline significant cause for concern. Even if you know how a team's going to play, that does not mean you can stop them. Real Madrid's propensity to surprise is also smaller, but this is more down to their enormous strength of individual ability than an especially coherent tactical map to which they always adhere. That's not to say that Zidane is not a tactically astute manager, with an especially acute sense of how to change things subtly in-game. But Real Madrid are blessed with some players of real talent, and so their potential formation changes will say much more about whether Zidane decides to nullify Liverpool or try to, and let his game-changing individuals be the difference, or seek to attack and hope that this is the best way to blunt Liverpool's efforts. Real will seek to occupy the middle part of the pitch, with Casemiro likely to return following Kovacic struggling somewhat against Bayern. Against Bayern in the second leg, Luka Modric played wide right with Marco Asensio wide left. Modric's natural instinct is to tuck inwards but level with Toni Kroos, while Asensio pushed forwards and in towards the 10 position, from which he can roam vertically and horizontally. Isco will do the same if deployed in this role. As Real's 4-4-2 does not feature naturally wide players, unless Vázquez plays on the right, this will allow their fullbacks to get forwards, especially Marcelo on the left. It will also create cramped conditions in the midfield and give Real something like a matchup against Liverpool's midfield 3. Of course, Liverpool's attacking prowess could mean that Liverpool's fullbacks are constrained, especially given how ably Salah and Mane press in the wide areas. This will be part of Liverpool's defensive play. As much as they want to win the ball back high to catch Ramos and Varane too far apart as they look to support a fullback being pressed, it will also help Liverpool keep Marcelo and Carvajal pinned back. This could lead to Real going for a more vertical approach, with their wider players tucking in and pushing up to create a sort of square off Karim Benzema and Ronaldo, eager to isolate and run at Dejan Lovren. Liverpool also need to be careful about their defence's natural instinct to push up and assist the midfield, and to mark a dropping off Benzema, as this could leave Ronaldo in space and able to feed off long passes from Toni Kroos or angled balls infield from the wide players. Liverpool will similarly want to run at Real's centre-backs. Their approach of quick interplays and running off of each other would cause an issue for any defence, and they can look to exploit Real's desire to step up and play wide across the back line. Both teams have enormous strengths, but this is not an easy game to describe in terms of attack versus defence, as perhaps last season's final was. In keeping with both teams' approach and how the competition has unfolded as a whole though, this is unlikely to be a cagey affair. Both sides know they need to be on the front foot from the off, with attack the best form of defence. It's likely to make for a scintillating game, whoever comes out on top.